Hey everyone, this is Paul Trinidad from Mirror Advisors. Today I wanted to talk to you a bit about why a scope is necessary in a CRM implementation. Oftentimes I get asked by a lot of people why they need to pay us to find a final price or give a final confirmation on their implementation, which is typically what we call the scoping phase. You might have heard other things like a business analysis, for example, or a feasibility analysis. Essentially, what these things are is a validation process. So the reason why they're so critical is in a CRM implementation, there is a lot going on, and it does get a bit hard to predict the total cost and scope of the project from the value resellers' point of view. So this is kind of the equivalent of, when you take your car to the shop and you say to your mechanic, "Hey, I hear a noise. What is this?" They kind of have to take it to the back. They have to lift your car. They have to look under the hood to kind of find out what's going on. So it's the same type of concept. It's just a bit more complex because we're dealing with data here. Another way you can also think about this is kind of like an architect. If you were going to buy a new house today, sometimes you can pick a floor plan from a big builder. But if you were going the route of a custom home, you would really need to meet with a architect and talk to them about your goals, talk to them about how you see the flow of your house going, the land, can we get utilities, all those types of things, extremely critical, but they can't always be communicated over one session or 1 hour of a communication. This is kind of like a weeks long journey. That's very similar to us and why we do the scope. We need to know everything, where it's going and where it's coming from. If you also think about if you were moving into that house and you have a ton of boxes at your old house, the most efficient way would kind of be to know which room that each box would be going into ahead of time, right? That would be the optimal way. If you don't have any type of scope or preparation, it's kind of like dumping all the boxes in the middle and trying to figure it out as you go. It can still work, it's just a bit more creative. Sorry, chaotic. But essentially, what we do in a scope is we essentially want to find out what are your business requirements, what are the pain points that you have in your current process that are causing issues and causing your motivation for this CRM implementation to begin with. The third thing that we also want to do is we want to identify how the software is going to help you and the opportunities of automation in that process. So you might have a successful business process, which is why you're in business, why you're thriving, but you don't want to implement software that's just not going to make sense or it's going to disrupt the process that's working. So this is kind of why we do a whole analysis of your business as well. And last but not least, we need to validate the data. Are we moving the data from another source? Even if it's spreadsheets, we need to make sure that data is well structured. So typically when you work with a consultant like us at Mirror Advisors, we ask for this scope or this analysis in order to really plan things down. That way, when we start building in the example of the house, we know exactly where everything is going to go and we know the way you want it. You also want to leverage the software and how it comes out of the box, right? Say, for example, Zoho CRM, it's going to have its strengths out of the box. It's structured a certain way: leads, deals, contacts, accounts. These are kind of like the native functionality that makes up the structure of it. So it's also great to work with a consultant in that scoping process to ask them, how is my business going to fit with this out of the box functionality? And those are the things you really want to focus on with the scope. So if you're interested in having a conversation about your business and how you can get started with CRM, feel free to give us a call or fill out your info on the link below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have plenty more videos coming your way. Thanks.